Looking forward to introducing everyone to a new series that I'm going to create, which is a Tipster profile series where I give you an overview of all the different aspects of a bet bot relating to things like how to set up your bot, which groups do you need to join and are relevant to your situation, the results from the bet bot so far, but also their historical results from the past, considerations to whether you can bet the tips at the Betfair Exchange or Pinnacle, for example, or whether they're going to be largely soft book service, whether the odds are sensitive, whether you have to bet the selections quickly, whether you have to be in a certain group to get a certain amount of the profit. This is going to be your overview series of all the different bet bots, and we're going to start off with Dynamite Darts as one of the leading services for 2024. David's Darts service has been off to an absolute flyer. So let's give you the rundown of how to get your bot set up for starter. The first thing you need to do is you'll always have to accept the terms and conditions. Ignore the date on this. This is just when we created the terms and conditions. Like, as we can see, I accepted them back in April. Then you have to join the bot, and that will say you've started with the bot service. And then the next step you've got to do with this bot is you need to join the right groups, because with some bots you receive tips by default, with others we segment it all, so you have to join the right groups in order to receive tips, otherwise you won't get the selections. So what you do then is you'll click /groups, and for the groups you can toggle them on and off. Red means you won't get any tips. Green means that you'll get tips for those options. So to run you through what each of the three groups means, the Bet365 group you'll only join if you have a Bet365 account. There'll be tips exclusively to Bet365 and you won't be able to bet them at other soft books. The soft books group is for anyone that has any kind of account in the UK with a soft book. Generally, the prices are very achievable at many soft books around the country, so it's rare that you'll be able to have a betting option that won't kind of cover that. So if you've got any kind of account, Bet365, Ladbrokes, William Hill, Betfred, you can join the softbooks group and receive tips for there. And the Betfair Exchange group is obviously tips that are available at the Betfair Exchange. The next thing to consider is the price of the service and the average stake, so that you're aware of whether you can follow the service yourself. So the price of the darts tips are going to be £5 a credit, and the average stake is 1.5 points. As a general rule of thumb, I would suggest you don't really want to be spending more than half your money on subscription costs in terms of your overall profit. So you want to be betting at least kind of £15 on your average bet. That's what these kind of three columns in the three rows in the tipster comparison are sort of meant to show, is to show how much you kind of need to be betting for it to be worth your time. So as long as you're betting kind of around £7.50 a point for the darts, I think it's well worth following, just because of David's results, which we'll come into in a bit of detail in a minute or two. The next consideration to have is sample size. For the darts to date, you're looking at around 60 selections per month. That number could go up a little bit as there are more big events coming up towards the end of the year, but as a general thumb, it's 1 or 2 tips on an average day, although the distribution of that can very significantly based on the tournaments in play. The next thing to discuss, and which is very relevant to many of the bet bots, is odds availability. For the darts, I would say that almost anyone can follow the softbooks group, and as long as you're betting within kind of a 10-minute period, you should easily be getting very close to the prices or very slightly below. For the Bet365 group, it's going to be more important to bet them fast. Generally, these are kind of bets that might be outright bets, or they might be late sort of bets an hour or two before the matches start in an event like the Players' Championship. So they might have just been recently priced up, and you're going to have to bet them quickly. What David tends to do is, if the prices are cut very quick within a few minutes, then he might edit those prices down to reflect what members generally have got. So it's one of those where, as long as you're fairly active with your betting and are able to kind of bet them within a few minutes, you'll easily be able to follow David's service. He will often give warnings as well when the prices are going to be sensitive. You'll get a 15-minute warning to say tips are coming. So it's a very easy service to follow, in my opinion, in terms of being able to record very close to the recorded results. So let's give you an overview of the results themselves. In the Bet365 group, you're looking at a profit of 49 points to date in the last 4 months. August particularly has been great for Bet365 members because we've had numerous number of outright winners. Long at 25-1 was the standout. A great amount of value to get if you've got a Bet365 account. There's an additional 49 points of profit. If you're going to be in the soft books group, which I feel like almost everyone will be in, because as I said, as long as you've got access to 1 or 2 accounts, you should be able to follow. You've made sort of 58 points profit, which is an average of 12 points per month so far. For those in the Betfair Exchange group, so far there hasn't been profit made, but that's just largely due to the sample size. I wouldn't expect there to be as much profit in the Betfair Exchange group, because primarily it is a service for those with softbooks and Bet365. That being said, I would highly expectant of there to be at least some profit in the future, where once there's more televised events towards the end of the year, there'll probably be a greater sample of bets available to bet at the Betfair Exchange. And if that's the case, the fact that David has such a large margin for value on his bets allows you to make profit essentially. So I would 100% join the Betfair Exchange group. And the great thing about our BetBot setup is that you don't have to pay anything until the profit's made. So even if you're only getting an average of 5-10 tips per month and the Betfair Exchange is your only option, you'll only have to pay if profit is made. And because of David's margin on his bets, it's a no-brainer to follow, given his expertise. So it's still a valid option, but right now there has been a very low sample of bets. When summarising it overall, David's made profit in 5 out of 5 months so far, with a minimum profit of 7 points, and that wasn't even a full month. For every full month, he's made over 10 points profit so far, with the previous 2 months being 32 points of profit in July and 47 points profit in August. So it's a service which is doing fantastically well, with 112 points overall profit and staggeringly an ROI of 29%. That is high, to be honest. It's even for David feels like the ROI of the service overall is likely to be close to 20%, because but compared to what he would be betting on personally, he's wanting the margins on the BetBot selections to be higher. With his own betting, he's prior to being on the BetBots, he sent 9,000, well, he hasn't sent, but he made 9,400 bets, made around 1,026 points of profit to 1 unit level stakes, and an ROI of 11%. And he's made profit in every year since 2016, an ROI, I think a minimum ROI of 7% for any given year, and averaging sort of 15 points of profit per month on his own betting. It's quite remarkable how solid those stats are, and you can now see how they're being replicated on the bet bots with already some stunning stats today. In terms of other things to note as well that could be of interest to all, one is that even if you're following on soft books, there probably are darts tipsters where you're getting a lot of sub markets, such as betting on the amount of 180s or kind of low margin ones that bookies are going to restrict you on very quickly. This service is not like that. All the tips are going to be pretty much either on the match winner market or the handicaps, so you can actually get a decent stake on your bets, and obviously because you're betting the main markets, you're not going to be flagged as someone that's value seeking as quickly. Obviously it goes with the territory that if you make enough money with a soft book, then you're going to get restricted in the end. But it does allow for more time and margin for that to happen. So in terms of a dart service to follow, you're pretty much getting absolutely everything you need. So in general summary, the reason that I'm making David's Dynamite Darts service the first one that I preview is just due to the sheer quality of what it provides, and I would highly recommend his service to anyone really, due to the flexibility of how you can follow and the results to date so far. Cheers guys.